Protests here in New York City. They are moving their way up towards Washington Square at the moment from Lower Manhattan as the world marks 1 year since the Hamas attacks on Israel, and fears that a wider war is brewing, perhaps already here, are growing more intense. Israel's defense minister warning, quote, everything is on the table as far as Israel is concerned right now in terms of their response to Iran's massive missile strike last week on Israel. Thankfully, it was very much largely unsuccessful. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Tom Nides, is here with me in New York. Ambassador, welcome. It's good to have you back with us today. Thanks you for being here. What goes through your mind as you look at these massive protests that are heading up through Midtown right now? You know,
I'm not spending time worried about them. I'm worried about the families that are waking up today, a year. I sat at this table 4 days after October 7th, okay? And these families still have their loved ones sitting in tunnels in Gaza. Every single day I talk to one of the families of one of these hostages, either those who are sadly have been dead, have been killed, or still captive. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about what's going on in Israel today. I'm worried about what's going on, what Hezbollah is doing to the Israelis in the north. So I'm not worried about protesters walking up and down streets. I'm worried about these families. That's who my heart breaks for. And that's what I'm thinking about on October 7th. You
know, let's talk a little bit about the White House response to this throughout the course of these last 365 days. This is a bit of a look back at President Biden's comments throughout. Watch this.
My administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering.
The conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top.
Are you aware of that? Are you comfortable with their plans?
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now. Thank you.
Is that good advice for Israel? Ceasefire now?
Martha, I don't think anyone, if you step back, can argue with how focused Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has been on the security of the state of Israel. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why 180 rockets that were shot off in the state of Israel just a week ago were helped by shooting by our military, our ships that are sitting in the Mediterranean. The Iranians know we have Israel's back. The Iranians know, as Hezbollah knows, that we've got Israel's back. And this president, at some material political cost to him and to Kamala Harris, have stood by the security of the state of Israel, which is the right thing to do at the right time, at the right moment.
This is Vice President Harris. She was asked whether Israel's Netanyahu is a close ally of the United States, and she hedged a bit on this and sort of broadened out the answer. Let's watch and get your thoughts.
Do we have a real close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I think, with all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes.
Does Netanyahu deserve a more full-throated, supportive response in that moment?
I've spent hundreds of hours with Bibi Netanyahu, okay? Our support is not about one prime minister, one defense minister. It is about the state of Israel. And I don't think anyone can question Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's support for the security of the state of Israel. And that's what this means. That, to me, is what is important.
But they have time and time again pushed them back. There's been discussion. You know, Macron is now calling for no more weapons to be sent to Israel. And there's been a lot of questioning of the response by Israel, and not a lot of outward damning of Hamas and Hezbollah and putting the blame on them and on Iran. We hear more about them wanting to be Israel to be careful about their response than we do about blaming Iran outwardly.
Well, this is what I push back a little on you, okay? Yeah, I spent a lot of time on this topic, and I spent a lot of time listening to the words of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris about the need and support for the security of the state of Israel. It was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris who made the decision to send those operations inside the Mediterranean. It is their decision to send the head of CENTCOM, General Carrillo, into the region to make sure Israel is secure. You can talk about words, actions matter, and this administration, I believe, firmly supports the idea of security of the state of Israel.
I got to go, but is it time to take out those nuclear sites to the greatest of Israel's capability?
We'll let the president, who will be elected in maybe 30 days, have that decision about what ultimately they're going to have to do about the security of the state of Israel.
It's Israel's decision, though.
It's Israel's decision. They have security of the state of Israel, but they also need to understand clearly that we have their back.
But do you support Israel striking the nuclear sites inside Iran?
I have the very strong view that we have to secure the state of Israel from all of its enemies, including principally Iran.
Okay. Tom Nides, thank you very much, former ambassador to Israel. Always good to see you, Tom, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.